Hi everyone and welcome back to The Books Are Everywhere. So today is very exciting. One, it is the first vlog of 2022. Welcome 2022, welcome the new year. And two, I am vlogging on a new phone. So I have vlogged on my phone ever since really I started my vlogs. I've just always found it difficult to vlog on my camera just because of setting it up and everything, and I feel like having my phone with me all the time obviously helps me to vlog. However, I wanted a new phone for a while, and it was kind of a thing where I paid more for a phone because I also use it as a camera to have a good camera. So I've got an iPhone 13, which is amazing. Very excited to be back on iPhone and have this new amazing camera, which will hopefully improve the quality of my videos and also just the content of my videos. I am hoping to be more excited to be able to vlog around and about and get some better quality video for you, and hopefully it'll be better in low lighting as well, so when I'm doing like evening videos or whatever it will look not too shabby. So fingers crossed for that. Very excited to be on this new phone and this new camera. But yeah, it is 2022. I am kind of daunted, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the fact it's a new year. I think because there is a lot happening for me this year. I graduate from university. It feels like a very big year, and it feels like probably the biggest leap I've had in a while in my life, to be graduating university and going off to whatever comes next. That is kind of daunting, but it's also exciting, you know, new chapters and everything. And talking about new chapters, let's discuss some books. I'm just going to catch you up on the books that I read and finished last week, because I did take a week off from vlogging last week, mainly because I needed a week off. I worked a lot in December, and I spent last week, the week after Christmas, just with Mark, with my boyfriend, doing nothing and relaxing, and it was very much needed. And I decided because of that I wouldn't vlog, but I did still read a lot of books. I had some books I wanted to read before the end of the year, so I thought I would just catch you up on those before I actually dive into what I'm reading this week. So I managed to finish Midnight in Everwood first of all, which I really enjoyed. I think I gave it 4.5 stars in the end. The atmosphere was absolutely beautiful. This was it is set at Christmas, but it is also very wintry and very snowy, so I'd say it's one to read more in winter than just at Christmas. But it is a Nutcracker retelling. It has Narnia vibes. Like, I don't want to like give away too much about this book because one of the major kind of plot points doesn't happen until like halfway through, but I really enjoyed it. The setting was absolutely beautiful. Loved the Christmas and wintry kind of atmosphere of it. Beautifully written, beautiful world. I liked the main character. Didn't blow me away in terms that it was a 5-star, but it was very close to that. So yeah, I'm giving this one 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed it. And then I actually picked up The Little Prince, which I still don't know how to feel about this. This was my last book to finish my Wordsworth collection, so I completely read my Wordsworth collection, which is off camera over here, which is like, I don't know how many books there are, 25-ish in the set. And this was the last one that I hadn't read. I saved it for December because it was very short and I thought it'd be good to read while I was quite busy. So I literally read this in one sitting. It is like 120-ish pages and has a lot of illustrations in it. Loved the illustrations, but this is one of those stories that you just don't really know what to make of, because as one of the illustrations, it is incredibly whimsical, but in just like a really weird way, and I didn't really know what to take from it. I felt like it's one that I kind of would have enjoyed more as a child, because it is kind of very out there and it reminded me of things that I read as a child. Also, honestly, does talk about having kind of a child's mindset to the story, and it talks about that and how adults kind of don't understand. And I don't know, it just made me feel a bit like disconnected from it, I guess. And it did remind me of things that I loved as a kid, but it wasn't something I was like completely taken by or blown away with. So I'm probably going to give this one 3.5 stars. It is just an odd book, and I feel like because of that it's kind of difficult to kind of place my viewpoints on it. But yeah, I read it. It was okay, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like something I would say I was blown away by. So yeah, I also read that one. I then picked up Frostheart by Jamie Littler, which is one I've had on my TBR for a while. And then somebody offered me their old copy, and I thought, you know what, I will give it a go. I've heard really, really good things about this. It is a middle grade story about a boy who can kind of like sing, but it's like a magic thing. Like he sings to do things like to cast not cast spells, but I don't know. It's really difficult to explain. But yeah, he has like magical powers that involve singing. And I will just read you the back because it's very short. So Frostheart is kind of like a sleigh, like a ship that's a sleigh. Like there it is. But it goes through like snow and ice. And anyway, it says, far out in the coldest parts of the monster-infested snow sea, Ash waits for his missing parents with only his grumpy Yeti guardian for company. But when an accident reveals that Ash has amazing magical powers, he's whisked aboard the Frostheart and explore a sleigh with a daring crew who need his help. Can they help Ash master his new powers and find his family? Now, honestly, I sped through this in a couple of days because I didn't have long left in the rest of the month, and I just felt so disconnected from it. There was just something about it that I just... Even though I was reading and taking it in, yeah, I was reading quite fast, but I just couldn't grasp the story. Like, I just didn't feel involved in it at all. I was just kind of like skim reading, and yeah, that might partly be my fault because I was reading very quickly. But it is a middle grade, so it is a very quick read for me. But yeah, I just felt really, really disconnected from the story. It wasn't that I couldn't, you know, tell you what was happening at the time. I don't really remember a lot of it now, I'm not gonna lie. But it just didn't involve me in the way that I wanted it to. I didn't feel enveloped in the story kind of at all. I liked the characters, I liked the Yeti, I liked the kind of icy atmosphere. I feel like this does have a very unique storyline, but I don't really get what the hype is about. I've heard a lot of people like really, really enjoy this book, and it'd be a big kind of middle grade one. And there is a couple of others in the series, so I wanted to read this to see whether I wanted to read the rest of the series, and I don't. Sadly, but yeah, it's just, I must say though, the illustrations are really, really cute, and I love that this book is illustrated. I think it adds something else to the story where you can kind of really picture things that are going on, and the drawings are really, really beautifully done. So I do really like that. I feel like it gives a lot of atmosphere. But yeah, it was just something about it that I just felt really disconnected from. So I then read The Kill Order by James Dashner. This is, for me, the last one in the series. It's a prequel to the Maze Runner, but I owned the 4, so I owned the 3 Maze Runner books and this one, and I kind of made it my mission to read all of them by the end of the year. I won't be reading the other prequel that has since come out, which is Red, and I can't remember what the name of it is. Won't be reading that purely because I don't really want to buy it, I'm not really that interested, but because I already owned these, I wanted to read them. And honestly, I have enjoyed them. I enjoyed the Maze Runner itself a lot more than I expected to, the first book in the series. And then the others I've liked but not absolutely loved, and they've been more what I've expected. But this one was actually really, really good. I don't think any of these have kind of blown my mind. They're not new favourites, it's not a new favourite series or anything. But I have enjoyed all of them in the whole series, the series as a whole, a lot more than I expected to. So this one follows, from what I can tell, the main character in the Maze Runner's parents, but I might be completely wrong. So they're Mark and Trina, and there is a disease on planet Earth, and there's also sun flares. And they basically are trying to kind of escape this disease, trying to find out more about this disease, and there's like things along the way that happen. It is kind of similar to the Maze Runner stories. It does feel like it fits within that world, and it was a little close to home in terms of disease, obviously, with everything going on in the world at the moment, but it did feel very disconnected because this is very dystopian. But yeah, I don't know, it was okay. I did enjoy it. I read it very quickly in like 24 hours-ish. And I did find it a very easy read, which I have with all of these. I'll probably give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then last but not least, I picked up Lore Olympus, Volume 1 by Rachel Smith or Smythe, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, this one was mainly something I squoze in before the end of the year, literally just read before I went to sleep on December 31st into January 1st. So I'm counting this as last year because it was before I went to sleep. But yeah, I just sped through this in the evening. And this one basically follows the Greek gods and their kind of antics with one another. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's a graphic novel. It talks a lot about kind of romance and sex, and kind of, it is very kind of passionate. The drawing's absolutely beautiful. And there is a kind of warning at the front, yeah, that says it deals with themes of physical and mental abuse, sexual trauma, and toxic relationships. So there is a content warning at the front of it. But yeah, I found this one super, super interesting. I absolutely love the colours of this. This is something that stood out a lot in this book, was the fact that there is such a focus on colour. I think they use different colours for different characters, but also it seems to be different colours in relation to the moods as well. So there's a lot of like this pink and blue and purple colour, but then you have some spreads that are more kind of like green, some that are darker, some that are like more, yeah, black and white. I mean, yeah, I just found this really, really cool, really interesting. It's been recommended to me a lot. I do feel like I should have probably read this a bit slower, but I was rushing to get it done by the end of the year. But I did still enjoy it. I'd like to reread it and focus more on the artwork, but I'll probably do that when the second volume comes out, which I think is due out later this year. This was originally published as a webtoon, and I have been recommended it by friends, so I really wanted to read it, and I'm glad I did. So I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars for now, but that may change when I read the second volume and properly dive back into this one. Okay, on to finally the books that I'm actually reading this week for this vlog in the first week of 2022, and I have two here that I'm currently reading. I'm definitely having a slow start to the year, but I honestly think that's fine. I read a lot last week to finish off the year, and I'm happy with what I'm reading at the moment. So I've started Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which was on my TBR or kind of loosely on my TBR before the end of the year last year, but I didn't get to it, so I thought, you know what, I will just pick it up when I can, and that turned out to be the 1st of January. So I picked this one up. I haven't read that much of it. I've read about 60 pages of it so far. It is definitely a slower read for me, but it is really, really interesting. It reads like a classic, but it isn't that old. This one is the 80th anniversary edition, so it's around 80 years old. I think this one came out a couple of years ago now, this edition, so yeah, it's probably a little bit older than 80 years at the moment. Yeah, this one came out in 2018, so it's 1938 that it came out, but it does read a little bit older than that. It reads more classic Victorian Gothic, which I'm really, really enjoying. This has been recommended to me on my love of Jane Eyre, and I can definitely already see some similarities, and I'm really, really loving the writing so far, so very excited to see where this is going. I haven't really explained what this one's about, but it follows a nameless main character who's the assistant to somebody. She's staying in a hotel with this person, this woman, who she's kind of paid to be a companion for, and then she ends up falling in love while they're in this hotel and marrying somebody called Max de Winter, who owns a hall or a house called Manderley. I think Manderley's a very famous like fictional place, of one I've been aware of before. And there is also this kind of mystery surrounding his first wife, who was called Rebecca and who died. And we're kind of only going back to Manderley now in the book, so I'm kind of getting there with the story. But yeah, very excited to see where this one goes. And I'm also reading A Darker Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. Me and Alex have decided to pick up this series to kick off the year. I have not read it before. She hasn't read it either. I did start this series a couple of years ago, I think 3 years ago, read about 100 pages or less of this first book and decided it just wasn't the right time for me, even though I was enjoying it, and I did put it back down at the time. So I'm excited to pick this one up again. I've read about 40 pages this morning on my run as an audiobook, and I'm really enjoying it so far and looking forward to seeing where this one goes. And this one basically follows Kel, who can move between worlds, and there is 4 different Londons. So there's Red London, Grey London, White London and Black London, and he can travel between them, and he's like a magician. And yeah, this is really, really interesting so far. It also follows Leela Bard, who I haven't really reached in the story so far, but I know that she's also a big main character. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this one goes. Very excited for it. V. Schwab is one of my favourite authors because Addie LaRue is my favourite book. So I'm excited to see something completely different from her and read some of her kind of older work as well. I've read like bits and pieces of her work. I've read The Near Witch, which I really liked. I've read City of Ghosts series, which is more of a middle grade, younger YA series. Have I read anything else? I've read Vampires Never Get Old, which is like a short story collection that she edited, I think. Or she wrote The First Kill, which is one of the stories. And I've obviously read Addie LaRue. So I'm kind of making my way through her books in an odd order, but yeah, very excited to read this one. But anyway, I've been rambling on for 15 minutes, so I'm gonna leave now and I will see you in the next clip. Welcome to the vlog. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy the new footage and the new camera and everything, and I will see you soon. Hi, I'm back. It is the next day. It is Tuesday the 4th of January, I believe. Yeah, 4th of January. And I thought I'd just give you a quick update on my reading. I've managed to film 2 videos this morning, which was good. I did my 2021 stats because I finally finished reviewing books that I read in 2021, like right at the end of the year last night. So I finally wrote all of those reviews and I finished all of my reviews for now, which is cool, and I'm feeling a bit more on top of that. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update. I haven't read that much really. I've now reached the 100-page mark of Rebecca and I'm really getting into the story. Really like the writing, but it's definitely a slow burner. But yeah, I'm about a quarter of the way through. I think this one is just over 400 pages long, so this one is definitely a slow burn to start the year, but I am enjoying it quite a lot so far. I really like the writing and I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going. I feel like it's going to start picking up fairly soon, but yeah, it's about 430 pages long, so I'm hoping to maybe finish it by the weekend, but yeah, we will see. I'm also reading A Dark Shade of Magic and I'm at the end of part 3. Yeah, I'm at the end of part 3, just going into part 4. So I'm 75 pages in and I'm really enjoying this one so far. I'm really actually quite glad that I read part of this before because I feel like I needed the world establishment. Alex was saying she's a little bit confused by this story and that's exactly how I felt going into it the first time. So I'm glad that I actually had that kind of experience of reading the first kind of couple of parts years ago, so that now I'm more established within the story and I kind of know where it's going. Well, I don't know where it's going, but I like understand the world building a little bit more. So I'm glad I did read the first couple of parts years ago, because this doesn't feel completely unfamiliar to me, but I can completely see why it's a little bit confusing with all of the different Londons that are in this book. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this one's going, hoping to do a bit more reading of this one and of Rebecca today. I'm trying to read like 50-ish pages of Rebecca a day and kind of like meter out my reading but not become to like a complete standstill on it. That's why I'm hoping to read like 50-ish pages and finish it around the weekend time. And yeah, I'm also reading, as you can see, about 70-ish pages a day of this one to finish it by Sunday as well. This one is a collector's edition, by the way. It does have a bit of damage on it. I bought this one secondhand quite a long time ago, and it has these lovely under the dust jacket details and artwork under the dust jacket as well. I have the whole set in this exclusive edition collection thing. But yeah, I'm gonna probably read this one on audiobook later because I've got a drive ahead of me later today, so I'm probably gonna read this one on audio today and hopefully read my entire chunk for the day on audio and then read some of Rebecca. But I have some uni work to do now, so I'm gonna get on with that for the rest of the afternoon probably, because I've done some filming and taken some Instagram photos and things like that. And yeah, I will speak to you soon. Hi everyone, it is Friday night and I thought I would just give you a quick reading update for Rebecca, but also for A Dark Shade of Magic, which is not, it's in a bag over there right now. But yeah, I've been working the past few days and things, so I have been busy and haven't updated you, so I'm sorry about that. But I have been reading, I've been reading Rebecca and I'm now around halfway through. I'm just finding this very, very slow, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Really like the writing style. I've just gotten to the kind of point in the book where it's getting super kind of creepy now, which I actually quite enjoy. And yeah, I'm really liking that. I really like the atmosphere in this one. I really like the writing, even though it is a little bit slower than what I'd normally read. A Dark Shade of Magic is definitely kind of counteracting this because they are very different books, and it is very fast-paced in comparison to this one. So yeah, A Dark Shade of Magic I'm really enjoying. I've been reading partly on audiobook and partly in physical format depending on kind of where I am. Just like I'll read a chunk and then I'll go out, so I'll drive and then I'll read a bit on audio, so if that makes sense. I'm reading it on both, and kind of enjoying that experience. I feel like the audiobook is pretty good and I really like the narrator. I feel like the narrator suits the book quite well. I think I do slightly prefer reading the physical copy than the audiobook, but I am still enjoying it, and I feel like it's very fast paced. I like the characters. I'm interested to see where the plot goes. And yeah, it's just really enjoyable. It's definitely not like a new favourite like when I read Addie LaRue and that was like, you know, my new favourite book. But it's very different as well, which I really like. But yeah, Rebecca, enjoying, but very slow. I'm hoping to read a lot more over the weekend of this one if I can, but I am still working on Sunday. And I am seeing friends tomorrow, which is very exciting, but hopefully I'll get some reading done as well. And I'll hopefully finish A Dark Shade of Magic over the weekend as well, and hopefully move on to some stuff in the new week. I was just gonna say about the new year, so that's why I said that, but I was just thinking about New Year because I feel like starting this book for the first read of the year, although it was good because I'm enjoying it and I've wanted to read it for a long time, and I've had it on my shelves for a couple of months and like been wanting to read it and stuff. So I'm glad I'm reading it, but I feel like because I'm starting the year off with this and it is a slower read, I feel like I am like behind my goal already, which I am, but I'm sure I will catch up. I'm not too worried about that. But like it is a little bit weird seeing people obviously finishing their first reads of the year and stuff, and I haven't actually finished one yet, but I will over the next few days, maybe tomorrow with The Dark Shade of Magic, because I've only got a couple hours of the audiobook left. But anyway, I will update you tomorrow. I'm gonna do a little bit of reading before I sleep and then read some more tomorrow, so I will speak to you then. Hi, I am in bed. It is Saturday night and I thought I would just give you a quick update on my reading because I've been so bad at vlogging this week. I'm so sorry. I had such a lovely day today though. I went to see Blue and Alex, and me and Alex actually did a park run this morning, which I've never done a park run because I work basically every Saturday, but essentially they happen all over the world, and at least most of them in the UK that I've seen seem to happen at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and I work most Saturdays, so I don't make them. This was the first one I've ever done, and me and Alex ran together and it was really fun. I've never run with anyone before. Me and Alex have never run together before, so that was really nice, and the whole kind of community feeling of doing a park run was lovely. And then we went out for breakfast and then Blue came over and we hung out as well and played some Animal Crossing and stuff. So it's genuinely just been a really nice day, and I've just been doing some uni work this evening, and I have got a little bit of reading done in today. I listened to my audiobook on the way to and from Alex's, and I actually finished, so ignore my bookmark. I finished A Dark Shade of Magic by Schwab, which I really enjoyed. I feel like I would have gotten more out of this if I'd have read the whole thing. I feel like sometimes, you know, a book lends itself to an audiobook really well, and sometimes it's just best if it's read in physical format, and I think this is one actually it does benefit from reading in physical format. However, I did really enjoy it. I read some of it on audio and some of it physically on and off, and I did really like it. I just feel like it needs quite a lot of focus because it's a very fast-paced plot, and I really enjoyed it. It's so entertaining, and it's basically about all these different types of London. So Cal, who is the main character, can travel between these different Londons, and I think of them as like layers, and he can kind of go between them. But yeah, it focuses on Cal and Lila, And the only complaint I have is I felt like I needed kind of more tension or stakes between them, as kind of a friendship, I guess. That's the only thing I think I would have been like more emotional and more kind of caught up in the book if there was kind of a closer relationship between them. But it is the first book in a fantasy trilogy, so I'm expecting obviously that this one will be some kind of setup, and there will be more to come in the later books, which I'm hoping me and Alex are also going to read in the next few weeks. And I think we're just going to read the series and kind of carry on with the series straight from now. So we'll probably start the next one, which is A Gathering of Shadows, on Monday, and read that in the next week or so. So yeah, really enjoyed this. Probably give it a 4-star, with a view to like the other books in the series maybe being higher. But yeah, I also managed to read a little bit of Rebecca today, which I'm very slowly making my way through. You can't actually see my bookmark, but I'm over halfway through now. And I am really enjoying this, but yeah, I am finding this one quite slow. I think I said this before, but I'm finding the most shocking thing about this book is how much it includes discussions of anxiety, and I feel like in some ways it's not the best thing to read because it is making me feel anxious a little bit reading about somebody else's anxiety, and I feel like a lot of it is very accurate to how I feel. So it's making me feel a little anxious reading this, but I am really enjoying it. And I actually really like how it discusses anxiety. I feel like that's not something we see in books, especially books like this, where even though it's not a classic, it is 80 years old. It is, well, I guess it is kind of a classic, you know. It's 80 years old, or over 80 years old now. So it's a really interesting thing to see of a novel of its time. And I am really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm gonna try and read this more over the next few days if I can, because I do want to finish it soon. And it's taken me a lot longer to read than I hoped, but I think it's just one of those books. It is a slower read, which is nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I'm glad I'm finally reading it. So anyway, I'm gonna head off now. I've got work over the next few days, so I will be busy again, but I will try and remember to update you and wrap this vlog up tomorrow, and then I will start another one on Monday. And I think I have less work next week, so hopefully I'll get some more reading done. But yeah, I will speak to you tomorrow. Hi, it is Monday. I'm a bit late wrapping up this vlog, but yeah, it is Monday. I have just been working the past few days, so I didn't actually really get a chance to wrap up this vlog last night, which is why I am here today instead. But yeah, I thought I'd just wrap up this vlog before I started next week's or this week's vlog. So yeah, I am here to wrap last week's vlog up on a Monday night after work. Yeah, I was at work yesterday and today. Went out for dinner tonight with some of my colleagues for my colleague's birthday, so that was nice. But yeah, so I thought I'd just wrap up this one. I don't know if I told you that I'd finished A Dark Shade of Magic, the first book, on Saturday. I know I updated you on Saturday, but I can't remember when. I feel like I had finished it because I feel like it would have been the evening. So I feel like I have probably given you my like thoughts and feelings on this one. So I have started A Gathering of Shadows, which I am enjoying more already. I really like the audiobook for this one. It's different because Lila has her own narrator, which I really appreciate. I found that the audiobook for the first one, there was just one narrator and it was a male narrator, and I just felt like Lila didn't quite work. So I'm really glad because there's more Lila chapters as far as I can tell in this book, and it starts off with like a big chunk of Lila's kind of story, which I really enjoyed. I've read that kind of like first part with Lila, and I really like the narrator that they've chosen, the female narrator. So I'm very happy about that. I feel like it's already making the audiobook a much better experience. But yeah, I don't know, I think I'm about 60 pages in right now. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one more, I think, already. I don't know, I just really like Lila's chapters, and I really like the way that this book started. I feel like it was started really well. It doesn't necessarily pick up right where the last one left off, but I think there's only like a couple of weeks between it or something. So I'm interested to see where this one goes and watch next week's vlog to find out where this one goes. I'm also reading Rebecca still, and I'm getting close to the end now. I'm hoping to finish this one tomorrow, and oh my god, this is getting so good. Honestly, I feel like this gets going really late, and it's a very slow book, and then stuff starts happening and you're like, oh my god, I really didn't expect that. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, because I had no idea where this was going, but it's a lot more dramatic than I expected, and I don't want to put it down. I just want to keep reading, which is exactly what I wanted with this one. So yeah, I think I'm actually a bit further along than where my bookmark is right now, but hoping to read more of this and finish it over the next few days. I also have a few books that I have received or picked up over the last few days, so I thought I'd just share those with you. The first one being Our Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, which is the sequel to Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which is the sequel to These Violent Delights, which I haven't actually read because I've been waiting for this one to come out because it's only a duology, so I have the complete set now. This is the beautiful Fairy Loot edition that my friend Amy pre-ordered for me, and it is also signed. I actually really like this because I feel like it's very simplistic. It does have art under the dust jacket, which is very pretty, but also the like naked hardback is just kind of plain, but I actually really like it. I like how the sprayed edges and the text and the hardback all kind of blend in, and they've gone with this beautiful pink. So yeah, I'm excited to read this series because I've heard really good things, but I wanted to read them back to back because I know this is just a duology, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Don't really know anything more than that. It's set in 1920 Shanghai, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and that is kind of all I know at the moment. But yeah, hopefully I'll read that one soon. I also picked up this, which is called The Measure, and it's by Nikki Ehrlich, and this one comes out in July, so it's a very early proof. We had this one sent in a box of proofs from Harper today at work, and I picked this one up because it just sounded too intriguing not to pick up. They've done a really good job with these proofs. Sounds so interesting. It says your fate arrives in a box on your doorstep. Do you open it? And on the back it's like return to sender. Super interesting. It says you have opened 2020's most life-altering debut novel. It seems just like another morning. You make a cup of tea, check the news, open the front door. On your doorstep is a box. Inside the box is the exact number of years you have left to live. The same box appears on every doorstep across the world. Do you open yours? It's the decision of a lifetime. And this one just sounds so intriguing. It kind of reminds me in a way of They Both Die at the End, because that's kind of the idea, is you get notified where on the day that you're going to die, but you don't know when in that day you're going to die. And it also kind of reminds me of An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and I feel like that's just the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this being set in like the real world, but it's like a not sci-fi elements, but kind of like sci-fi elements. So I'm hoping to read this one soon. It sounds really interesting, and I'm trying to be really careful about like how many books I'm picking up at the moment because I don't have a lot of space for them. I honestly couldn't leave this at work because it just sounded so good. So pick that one up. Really like the spine and the font on the spine for the title. But yeah, very intrigued by this one. Sounds really interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here and start my next week's vlog. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and comment and subscribe and all those things, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye.